In 1981, some of you may have seen this movie. It won Best Picture that year. The movie's entitled Chariots of Fire. It's probably best remembered for the song title that goes along with it. If I started humming it, you could hum it along with me, I guarantee you, but I won't put you through that torture. But the Chariots of Fire was based on a true story. There was a Scottish missionary who was a young man in his 20s. His parents were missionaries, and he was training to be a missionary, and he was also the fastest man in the world. He held the world record in the 100-meter dash. He was on England's Olympic team to go to the Olympics, to no doubt win an Olympic gold medal. And wouldn't you love to hear a preacher come in that had an Olympic gold medal? I mean, just think how that would promote his preaching career. He could travel all over. An Olympic gold medalist is going to speak at your church tonight. Wouldn't you love to hear this guy speak? And so he went to Paris. They were held in Paris that year. And they put the schedule of when all the preliminaries were. If you know about the Olympics, it's about a 2-week event. And the preliminary for the 100-meter dash was going to be run on Sunday, which was a problem for him. Because when he was a teenager, he had made a vow to God that I will never run on what he called the Sabbath, but I will never run on Sunday. That is a day set aside for God. And he said, I can't run on Sunday. Pause for a minute and think how much rationalization we would do in a similar situation as that. Number one, that's between you and God. If you'd keep your mouth shut, nobody would know about that vow anyway. So just hush up. Also, if you run on Sunday, you know God wouldn't expect you to keep that vow, because think of how much glory that's going to give God if you win an Olympic gold medal and you go to all these churches as an Olympic champion. He said, no, I can't do that. I can't run on Sunday, so I'm out of here. It wasn't even the final. It was just a preliminary. He wouldn't even have to warm up. He could just go run a little bit, 10 seconds of his day. But he would not go. And the headlines of the papers said, missionary will not run on the Sabbath. Guess whose name was being glorified? God's. Then if you saw the movie, there was a boy that ran the 400 meters that said, I will swap with you. A Jewish young man, by the way. And he ran in the 100 meters. They was going to let Eric Liddell run in the 400. He had never run that race before. Of course, there's no way. It's a completely different race than the 100 meter. There's no way he could win, but at least he could tell his kids that he ran in the Olympics one day. He ran the 400 meter. He set a world record. He set an Olympic record, and he won the gold medal in the 400 meters. And what did it say? Man of God runs and wins the Olympic. When he chose not to run, God was being glorified. When he ran, God was being glorified. Do you understand what we're talking about here? He had laid his running down before God and said, I run for the glory of God. And so when he chose not to run, God was being glorified. And when he chose to run, God was being glorified. And so I ask you again, what is that in thine hand? What is it in your hand that's never really been put down on the altar before God?